Baraka is in a lot of different cultures. It's in a lot of different languages. It basically means the same thing, a blessing. This is like a journey of rediscovery. It takes you into nature, into history, into a social situation. It's about reconnecting. It's communicating on a level that I think is necessary.
Baraka is a word, I believe it's a Sufi word, which is an area in the Middle East, and it's a generic word which we felt was appropriate for the film because we didn't want a specific word that was maybe understandable in English that would sort of limit the scope of the film, because it's a very broad film in the sense of the subject of it.
We went on a 13-month shoot. We filmed in 24 countries, which took us around the world 3 times. This camera that we built actually is an all 65 format. It all operates with stepper motors inside it, so you just program it on the computer. The films I'm making are non-verbal. There's no main characters in them. The main character is the locations and the essence that comes out of those images. So 65 is just, an obvious way to go.
The choice of 70mm was really consistent with the whole approach to making the film, in that we didn't want to make any compromises to the quality of the image. And there is not a more aesthetic format than widescreen 70. And that's really the same reason why the location schedule was so ambitious and why we tried to go to so many places. It was really an all-out effort for almost 3 years to make the ultimate nonverbal film in the ultimate format. And the challenge in keeping a film like this working for 96 minutes is you need spectacular images. And I didn't want to leave any stones unturned in terms of the choice of locations. Making a film like this sounds really glamorous and fabulous and traveling all of these exotic places, but when you get out there, it's very grueling. You're working 7 days a week, long days, early in the morning till late at night.
One of the most difficult locations that we did was in Australia at Ayers Rock. It so happened when we arrived, they were having one of the worst fly epidemics ever in Australia. And there were so many flies we couldn't even shoot. They landed on the lens of the camera, so we were unable to even film. So one solution we came up with was to take 2 vacuum cleaners, which we rigged on both sides of the lens, and actually blew air off on the front of the lens so we could actually film without flies covering the front of the lens while we were shooting. It was pretty miserable, actually.
We were really lucky that nobody was really hurt or injured during all that time, and considering all the miles we traveled on the road in vehicles, and we're in a lot of countries where the driving conditions are dangerous, and a lot of flights on small planes and helicopters.
I would say all of us almost got killed on this project. Mark, the producer, while we were in Brazil, we were watching rainforest trees being cut down. And before we knew it, here they were coming down, and Mark barely stepped out of the way.
It wasn't all a picnic. It was very grueling and arduous work. But being confronted with a different culture almost every week or two for a period of almost a year really was a wonderful thing. And we really, since we worked with so many local people, we got to know a lot about the culture of the country, as much as you can know in a short period of time.
When the dailies came back from Baraka and I sat with the director and producer and watched the screenings, I got a lot of ideas in terms of how to weave these different musics and different instruments into a score and a composition that would really be a kind of like a world orchestra where all the different instruments are playing together in one gigantic composition.
Michael put together some very interesting elements in a particular piece that's over the Kuwaiti oil fires, where he put together a piece of music that contained koto drums, the Japanese koto drums, bagpipes, and Tibetan water music, which are totally disparate types of sounds, but when you put them together, they really work together. And that is the kind of thing that Michael does extremely well.
Well, I chose not to have any narration or subtitles because it would put the film and the feeling of the film in a whole nother place. It's not about where you are or why you're there, it's what's there. Yeah, it's like doing a painting, really. There's a concept in the beginning, an aim, and you go out and gather up this data and you shoot, you go to all these locations, you bring it all back and you look at it. And then you make a structure based on what works with the concept. First you start with an idea that you would like to do, and this idea was based on humanity's relationship to the eternal.
This is not a documentary travelogue. It's really not. It's really meant to be a moving emotional experience about life on the planet and each of our place here. And it's not about where is this and where is that.
I really believe that we are connected to everything. That, in a sense, I've been invited here to this planet just like you and everybody else has, and life didn't ask anybody to approve of a guest list.